Do you know the difference between saying I will do something or I'm going to do something? They're both future tenses, but what's the difference? In this video, we are going to discuss the future simple verb tense and when to use it in your daily English conversation by using real life examples. I'm Tara, and I'm the Academic Director of KTI English. I have nearly 20 years experience teaching ESL and have taught all ages from 5 to 75. At KTI English, we have helped numerous students prepare and pass various English exams such as IELTS or CELPIP. We care most about your well-being and your ability to improve your English and boost your self-confidence. So let's talk about verb tenses. There are 12 English verb tenses, roughly divided into 4 categories: simple, continuous, perfect simple, and perfect continuous. And then each of those 4 categories has a past, present, and future version. So there's past simple, present simple, future simple, past continuous, present continuous, future continuous, and so on. Today we're going to be looking at the future simple verb tense. Now, the future simple verb tense is actually expressed in 2 different ways. We can say, I will do something, or I'm going to do something. And that's why I often joke that there's really 13 verb tenses in English, because I will do something and I'm going to do something. Sometimes they are the same, but sometimes they're different. And we need to understand the difference in order to use it correctly. So let's look first at the be going to verb tense. For example, I am going to do my homework. He is going to do his homework. She is going to, they are going to do. Okay? This one is used in 2 different ways. The first way we use this is to express a prior plan. Now, this is the very important part because this is the one that is different from the will verb tense. Okay? So let's take a look at an example. We might say, I am going to start a new school next month. Now, the key thing here is that the decision was made in the past. The action, starting the school, that action is going to be in the future. But the decision to do that action was actually made in the past. It's a prior plan. You have already planned to do that. That plan is set, it's done, it's confirmed. Okay? So let's say, for example, yesterday I visited a new English school. I decided to register for that English school. I paid the fees, but the class does not start until next month. So now today, the decision was already made yesterday. I paid the tuition fee. I registered for the school. So today I will say, I am going to start a new school next month. The second way that we use this verb tense is to predict something that will happen in the future. Now, this is not something that I or the subject has control over, okay? In the previous one, when we're talking about a prior plan, the subject has the decision ability. It's the subject's choice. So he is going to do, she is going to do, they are going to do. It's their decision to do that. But in the second way that we use this, it's simply predicting. That means guessing what is going to happen in the future. I like to say, no one knows, only God knows what is going to happen, right? So we could say something like, it is going to rain tomorrow. We have some pretty good guesses. You know, we listen to the meteorologist on the news weather channel, and they tell us what the weather is going to be like tomorrow. And they say that there's a 70% chance of rain. Well, then we say it is going to rain tomorrow. But we really don't know that. It's not a decision that I have made. It's just I'm guessing what's going to happen. You could also say, you are going to pass the test, or you are going to win the game. I don't know that, right? I maybe have prepared you to pass the exam. I know that your ability is high enough to pass the exam. But who knows? An exam is an exam. You might get a weird question that you don't understand the vocabulary for. You may have test anxiety. You may stay up so late. Oh, this happened to a student of mine once, a young man. He stayed up so late studying the night before, he actually fell asleep while taking the exam. So who knows? You might have the ability to pass the exam. I'm confident that you are going to pass the exam, but it's not up to me. It's not my choice. I'm just predicting or guessing what is going to happen. Okay? Now, let's turn to the will verb. Okay? So I will do something. He will do something. She will do something. The first way that we use will is the same as that last one we just talked about. So he will pass the test. It will rain tomorrow. The soccer team will win the game next week. We don't know that, but we know that they have much higher skill than the other team. So it's a good guess. We're predicting something that will happen or is going to happen in the future. But again, it is not the subject's choice. Okay? It's not the subject's decision. We're just guessing what is probably going to happen. Okay? Now, the second way that we use this is similar to the be going to, but there's an important difference. The second way that we use will do is when you're making a decision at the time of speaking. Okay? This is a very common one. You'll hear this a lot when you're making a decision right now about something I will do in the future. Common ones will be, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I use this all the time. Maybe I'm on the phone with my sister and my kids start screaming and fighting. I say, I have to go deal with the kids. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I didn't decide that yesterday. I didn't know I was going to be on the phone with my sister yesterday. I didn't know that the kids were going to be fighting yesterday. I only made that decision at the time of speaking with my sister on the phone. So I say, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I'm not going to say, I'm going to call you back in 5 minutes. That sounds funny to a native speaker. So you can hear the difference, right? If you say, I'm going to do, That's something you've decided already. You made the decision in the past. But I will do, I'm making the decision right now as we speak. Okay? Another very common expression, I'll be back. Let's say I'm teaching a class and I have a phone call, or I have to run to the bathroom. I need to get a drink of water. My throat is dry. I did not decide that 2 weeks ago. Okay? I'm just deciding this in the class right now. So I say to my students, I'm sorry, I need a glass of water. I'll be right back. Okay? Now, there is also a third way that we use will, that we will never use be going to. Okay? Now, the third way that we use this is to express a willingness to do something. Now, willingness, that's kind of a hard word. Do you know what that means? Okay? I often ask this to my students, do you know what a willingness means? And they usually tell me it's something they want to do. And yes, it can be something that you want to do. Maybe we've had a birthday cake, a beautiful chocolate cake, okay? And there's one piece left. And someone says, who wants the last piece of birthday cake? I love chocolate cake. Okay, I will have that. That's something I want. I want to do that. So I say I will. But a willingness isn't always something that you want to do. It's not something you're volunteering to do. But if it is necessary, if you have to do it, you will. Okay? So, for example, I remember when I first started in the ESL industry, of course, ESL teaching hours sometimes are not the greatest, right? You might be working late into the evening. If you're teaching online overseas, you might be working early hours in the morning, or you might be working on the weekend. And I got a job where they needed a teacher for the weekend. So in my job interview, they asked me, can you work on the weekend? I could. I was free. I didn't want to. Okay. I was a young girl. All of my friends worked Monday to Friday. They had Saturday, Sunday off. They wanted to go out partying Saturday night. I wanted to go with them. I didn't want to have to get up for work early Sunday morning. But if it meant having a job or not having a job, yeah, I will work on the weekend. I will make that sacrifice. Okay. So I will work on Saturdays. Now, at the stage of life I'm at now, married with kids, maybe I will not work on the weekend. That's our family time. That's the important family time for me and my kids and my husband. So unless it's really, 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 really necessary, I might say, no, actually, I will not work on the weekend. Maybe I'm a very strong Christian and I will not work on Sundays. I've had many students for religious purposes will not have class on certain days. And so that shows that they're not willing to do that. They're not willing to make that sacrifice. Okay? Think of also one more final example to maybe really show you that this is not always something that you want. Think of a soldier in war, okay? The Army, the Navy, the Air Force. No one wants to die for their country, right? But that is what soldiers do every day. Because they are willing to risk their lives. That's what we always say about soldiers, police, firefighters. They are willing to risk their lives for their country or to save other people, right? So a police officer is willing to go and have people shooting at him or her to save the innocent victim, right? The firefighter is willing to run into the burning building and risk his or her own life in order to save the child that is in the burning house, right? So it's not something that someone is going, oh yeah, let me run into a burning building, or let me have people shooting guns at me. No one is wanting that. But if you're given the choice between letting that person die or trying to save their life, then those people are willing to do that. Those people are willing to risk their own lives for the sake of someone else. And so that's where we would use will. They will risk their life for someone else. Okay, so I hope that's made that clear. We use be going to in 2 cases, expressing a prior plan and predicting the future. And then we use will do in 3 cases, also the same, predicting the future, making a decision to do something in the future, but making the decision at the time of speaking. And then finally, a willingness to do something, a willingness to do something in the future. I hope that's clear for you. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Just click the subscribe button below. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more helpful tips. Just click the subscribe button below this video. And head on over to ktienglish.com and sign up for our newsletter for more exclusive tips, tools, and ways to improve your English for work, school, or daily survival. Also, we are currently working on a new online course exclusively focusing on English verb tenses, all the different ways that they are used, and comparing between some of the really difficult, very similar verb tenses so we can understand the difference between them. It's not up and running yet, but it's going to be ready soon. So check back in the description for updates as we have them available. Now I want to turn it over to you. Please leave a comment below with an example sentence for some of the verb tenses and uses that we discussed today.